YouTube. I wanted to make a video just talking sort of about how I feel relating to some of the recent events in the United States, and I just wanted to talk a bit about that. So, not that long ago, I'm sure many of you were aware that there was a march that involved Nazis marching basically for their cause, chanting racial slurs, lots of hatred, violence ended up erupting. It was just a person died. They got hit by a vehicle driven by one of the Nazi supporters. And people think as a Canadian, this stuff doesn't affect us because we aren't in it. We aren't living in the States. We don't have Donald Trump as our president. But here's the thing. Some of the people that were at that rally were Canadians, unfortunately. I actually watched a documentary that had a reporter interviewing some of the main orchestrators of this event, this whatever you want to call it, and I mean, you could tell she was clearly disgusted with most of the things this guy was saying. But, you know, they, even when interviewed, in an interview, they said, this isn't even going to be the worst violence there is. The point about the Canadian thing is just that there was in this interview, there was people that were in the group that announced that, oh, I came across the border for this, I'm Canadian, and I was just like, okay, not a proud Canadian moment. But anyways, back to the violence thing, they said that at least, you know, there was a minimal loss of life without, that, you know, wasn't unjust, whatever the fuck that means, and that they, if need be, will be more violent in the future, and they're not opposed to loss of life. They have no issue fighting violently and with people dying that oppose them, and it is fucking terrifying. It's terrifying that in this day and age, this kind of hatred and racism and just anger is seen as okay and just an opinion and freedom of speech and all of this shit, and it's not, you know, racist bigots hiding under white pointy hats with cloaks in church basements and in open fields and shit anymore. I mean, this is walking down city streets. This is in people's fucking backyards. Like, this is, they're not hiding anymore. Donald Trump has given them permission to behave this way with his own behavior and his own actions and his own diatribe and things that he says and the way that he incites this and then doesn't say anything to not back it. He doesn't say anything in opposition of it. Both sides were violent. Both sides were to blame, basically. No. Nazism is wrong, period. Racism is wrong, period. It's not something that you can just, oh, no big deal. Like, you can't just shoo it away. It's a serious thing. And the fact that the President of the United States doesn't seem to give a shit that this is going on in his country is fucking terrifying. I know there's people out there that are probably like, what do you have to be afraid of? You're white. You're, you know what I mean? You're not a minority. I mean, being queer is sort of a minority, but not visibly, not a visible minority. Um, but here's the thing, I believe in using platform and using privilege as, a white cis passing person to speak and hopefully be heard. Um, I can't imagine what it must feel like to be a person of color, or visible minority, non-visible minority, um, trans person with his bullshit about the military. It's a whole other thing, but still, what it feels like to be an American right now and be in any of those marginalized groups, and to have your president who is supposed to protect the people and stand for the people, and he just doesn't care. He's just like, not my problem. I can't imagine what that feels like. I mean, I guess that's where right now I do have the privilege being Canadian, and even though, I mean, it's well said that, America gets a cold and Canada coughs, right? But we feel the effects, but not necessarily to the same degree where this is concerned. I do know a lot of people, not necessarily personally, that are Canadian, that are Trump supporters, that say they would have voted for him if they were American, that are racist and bigoted and an absolute insult to being a Canadian. And it's unfortunate. I mean, we are still, there are still Canadians fighting just to have basic rights, just to be seen as equal, as a person who is assigned female at birth, that for the most part appears female. I feel it when I can even tell, just feeling the gender inequality. Again, that's an entirely separate issue, but like I said, I feel for my American brothers and sisters. I feel for anyone who is affected by what is going on, and people who are now afraid to be themselves, afraid to live their lives, afraid to be in public and wearing the hijab, wearing, religious anything, or just being a visible minority in the United States, being afraid to leave your house, being afraid to go to work, because you don't know who's going to make you a target. And it's 2017. We should be above this. We should be beyond this. The fact that there are still people with these mentalities is just absolutely appalling and disgusting, and just I don't even know what else to say about it. I find it very upsetting. I try to be open to all people, and I try to listen to all people's points of view. And I mean, I don't identify with any one religion. I just care about all people, and I don't care whether you're black, white, or purple. It doesn't matter to me. It's the person. If you're a cool person, if you're dope, I'm down with you. And it doesn't matter to me what your appearance is. It doesn't matter how you identify. It doesn't matter what religion you are. If you're cool with me, I'm cool with you. And the fact that there are people that will just look at somebody on the street and be like, the color of their skin makes them less than me. I don't know how people can live live that mentality, live with that way of thinking, because you don't know anything about that person. You don't know what that person's lived experience is. You don't know what their story is. And for all you know, like, that person could have saved lives. That people could have fought for their country. That person could have, you know, fuck, they could have saved a dog from drowning. Like, you don't know. You don't know that they're not a better person than you, and that it doesn't matter whether they are or they're not. The point is they're equal. The color of your skin is the color of your skin. It's literally, as a scientific fact, it's just the melanin in your skin that defines your rate, like your skin color. So having less melanin in your skin all of a sudden makes you better than somebody else. I mean, I read another article where a lot of these white supremacists and Nazis are doing Ancestry DNA and 23andMe and all of those at-home genetic tests so that they can confirm the purity of their, you know, Anglo-Saxon race and shit like that. And they're finding out that they're not as pure white as they thought they were, and getting all upset and trying to say that it's rigged and the DNA tests are lies or some shit like that, because God forbid they find out that they are something other than what they thought they were. And God forbid they have to question what they've been taught to believe, and all of a sudden they find out that they are not as pure blood as they thought they were. And now, what does that mean for their belief system? Are they suddenly less than their white brethren? Do they have to confront their belief system and realize how deeply fucking flawed it is at that point? You know, it's funny to me. And I almost feel like it should be mandatory to make these idiots do these DNA tests so they can see, like, maybe they're not. For all they know, dating back, their ancestries could have descended from Africa or something, and they're going to look at that and freak out and realize that their entire ideology is bullshit. You know, you're not better than anybody because of the color of your skin or what you believe in, whether you believe in Christianity, or you're an atheist, or you're agnostic, or you're Buddhist, or whatever. It doesn't fucking matter. You're not better than anybody else because you believe a certain thing, or because you look a certain way. And to fucking march in the streets shouting that you're better, shouting that other people deserve to die just because of what they believe, or their color of their skin, or who they choose to love or marry, or deciding to live their truth, whatever. I can't even wrap my brain around that mentality. I just can't. And I don't even know what else really to say on it. I've kind of rambled on in this video. If you're still with me, I appreciate that. Just know that no matter what your religious affiliation is, whatever your skin color is, whoever you are, whether you're gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgender, pansexual, non-binary, Muslim, black, white, purple with fucking polka dots, you are worthy, you are equal, you should be equal, and nobody has the right to say they're better than you. And we all need to stand up for what's right and defend our fellow human beings and support each other. And I want this channel to be somewhat of a safe space, so if you want to talk to each other in the comments, that's cool. If you have any thoughts, let me know. And yeah, thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Peace.